In this video, I'm going to be discussing how I got into law school. I'm going to discuss my GPA, my LSAT, what schools I applied to, my undergrad, and the experience I had before going into law school. And keep on watching to the end where I provide you with a bonus tip if you are thinking about applying to law school. So first things first, what was my GPA? So from undergrad, it was about a 3.6 GPA. I forget the exact numbers, but it was more or less. My major was political science. My minor was in philosophy. Those classes are very difficult. I mean, for everyone that is a philosophy major, those classes are really intellectually stimulating, but also very demanding in terms of, the rigorous thinking. And I forget whether it was weighted or unweighted, but at the end of the day, that's what the GPA was. And I mean, with GPAs, if you're thinking about applying to law school, the better, the higher GPA you can get, the better, I would say. There is not, one set GPA you need to have. Depending upon what schools you're applying to, the better GPA you have, of course, the better school that you can apply to, the more money you can get for tuition, scholarships. So all of that is a big factor. The second thing, what was my LSAT score? So I took the LSAT twice. First time I self-studied and, I was thinking I was doing really good. But it turns out it didn't go so well. The first time I took the LSAT, I got a 144, which I think is maybe on the bottom 10 or 20%. I could be wrong, but it's a low score. One thing that I would stress highly is don't focus on the quantity, focus on the quality. I was doing a bunch of exams the first time around thinking like, hey, if I do 5, 10, 15 exams, I'm going to do really well. That was not the case, and that's what happened after the first exam. Second time I took the LSAT, I got a 155, which was better. I think that was in the top 40 percentile, roughly. When I studied that time around, I focused more so on quality. If I got an answer choice incorrect, I made sure that I understood why. It got to the point where what I would do now was, for all the answer choices I got wrong, I would not look at what the correct answer choice was, because then I would look at it and then just think, oh yeah, duh, that makes sense. What I would do was, if I got it wrong, I would go back to it. I would read the question, read the answers and see if I could, think through it myself and get to the correct answer choice. That helped further reinforce, points of errors in my logic or stabilize other things. That helped to make sure that it reinforced things that I was thinking correctly or also incorrect logic. And I would say when I got my second score, I felt that it was good enough to get into law school, with some cushion. And that's when I decided to apply. The first time, I didn't apply. I knew I had to take it again. Although I could get into unaccredited law schools in California, perhaps even some accredited law schools or California accredited law schools, I felt that even if I got into some of those schools, it may have not been enough. I may have not learned properly to pass. I have some colleagues who went to California accredited schools, they're good lawyers and everything, but just at that point in time, that was my thinking. The third point, what schools did I apply to? So for me, I just wanted to go to a law school in California. I'm from California, so that was my thinking. And I applied for all ABA accredited law schools. I applied to Hastings, Pepperdine, UC San Diego, the University of San Francisco Law School, Southwestern, California Western, Thomas Jefferson, Chapman, Laverne, pretty much all of the ones in California. I did not apply to like Stanford, UCLA, UC Irvine. I didn't believe, I would get into the school, so I didn't apply. Yeah, I guess the highest tiered schools were the Hastings and Pepperdine and Davis as well. And I applied to all of them. It was great because I was able to compare and contrast. They approved me, they accepted me, but how much scholarship money were they providing? And then what was also their bar passage rate? I didn't have any goal or illusion or desire to go into big corporate law. So, I felt that there was really no need for me to go to, Harvard, Yale. Granted, my my LSAT and GPA probably wouldn't have gotten me in, but that was just my thinking. When I was going into law school, I was thinking, hey, I just want to be a criminal defender. I want to do good work, fight for the people, that kind of thing. Of course, things changed, but that was just my thinking. If you're learning something from this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. Do not forget to subscribe. It really helps this channel a lot. Thank you very much. So having as little debt as possible and being able to pass the bar exam, that was my thinking in determining what school I went to. And I mean, I made a, like an Excel sheet, a Word doc table, and then I put, the law school. I put how much scholarship money they were offering me per year. I put their bar passage rate, and then I spoke with a colleague, older attorney. I already had, some thoughts, but my wife's close friend was an older attorney, and I just wanted to see what he thought. I wanted to go to Hastings. He went to Hastings. It didn't happen like that, but I decided to go to California Western School of Law. It was a lower ranked school. I don't even believe they're ranked, but the thing that stood out to me was, they offered me, I believe it was a 90% scholarship for tuition. And then at the time they had like a 60 or 70% bar pass rate. I think it's lower now, but for me, at that point in time, it's like, hey, I want to pass a bar exam. I don't want to have that much debt. And because of that, I decided to go there. There were other schools that were offering, scholarship money. I believe Southwestern, it was a similar amount. Thomas Jefferson, I believe, was 95 something, but it was a decent amount. Had Hastings offered me more, I probably would have went there. I mean, the great thing about them, like, I was impressed because, it was a higher ranked school, but they were offering me more money than some other lower ranked schools. But even then, just thinking about living in San Francisco, how high the rent is, how much I would graduate with debt. For those reasons, I, decided not to go there. And I mean, that is what I would recommend, if you can get a fee waiver, great, apply to as many schools as you can. I don't remember exactly, how many schools you can apply to if there is a limit, but apply to as many schools as you can just to compare and contrast. There are some schools that have, bigger funds, and, you may be surprised to get some offers. And in order, it's a big decision you're going to make. It's going to be not only economically, but also, in your profession, your career. So making sure that you make the most informed decision, I think it behooves you to apply to as many schools as you can that you realistically think that you'll attend, or, just want to see for kicks and giggles, right? The fourth point, where did I go to school in undergrad? I went to Cal State Bakersfield. I was a transfer student from a community college. Shout out to everybody who went to community college. I think it's a great investment. I think it's a great decision, because you can basically, test the waters of what college is like. Granted, the university is different, in my opinion, than community college, but it's a good introduction to college. Not only that, you save a whole bunch of money. So for sure, highly recommend community college. The fifth point, what was my experience? Did I have any experience in the legal profession before going to law school? And short answer, no. I mean, I did work in a congressional campaign. This person was running for political office, assisted with the campaign. That was as much introductory that I got into the legal arena. I mean, I was also involved in student government at my, at Cal State Bakersfield. Shout out runners. But other than that, I mean, I never interned. I never worked. I didn't work. I did not intern for any attorney, law office, anything like that. So I didn't have any, knowledge about that. In undergrad, I did have a professor who was a district attorney. She was a Latina district attorney. And it was just really cool, seeing her insight, her encouragement. She was rah, 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 la raza. And it was pretty cool, seeing that. And, that I do believe encouraged me. It helped me. Hey, if she did it, I could do it. And that was an encouragement as well. But as far as like what the actual legal work was, I did not have any real idea before going into law school. Last thing, the bonus tip. For those of you that do not know, some law schools in California have a pipeline program. I know UCLA has one, UC Irvine and UC Davis. And the great thing about the pipeline programs is you get more information about law school, about the LSAT, the application process. And some of them even offer you a stipend for an LSAT prep course. After I graduated undergrad, I got into one of these pipeline programs and it was amazing. That's where I got the stipend to do the LSAT prep course. It, made a world of difference. On top of that, I got, we had like 6 sessions speaking with other attorneys, speaking with other law students. And the great thing about it was they had a whole bunch of nuggets of information that, we could use and we could apply. And I did. I know one thing that they mentioned was, if you're going to ask for a letter of recommendation, professor from an employer, I mean, some of these professors, if it's a professor, they have a whole bunch of students. I mean, they're probably going to remember you, your face, things like that. But because they have so many students, in order to help them help you, what you should do is you should give them your resume. You should give them your personal statement. You should even give them a summarization of things that happened in the classes you took with them, any memorable conversations, your grades for that class. And if you give them all that, I mean, I'm pretty sure they're going to write you a really good letter of recommendation. Another thing that they mentioned in the pipeline program, it's like a whole application. If you have letters of recommendation saying exactly the same thing as your personal statement, it's kind of, it's redundant. Whereas if your personal statement mentions one aspect of your life that's more personal, maybe your upbringing, your struggles, things that you had to overcome with your family, experiences that molded you who you are, that's great. And then if the professors, can mention, scholastic, the academic component, then it just makes it a more complete application. But if you're in your personal statement, just solely focusing on your academics, your letter of recommendation is solely focusing on your academics, it's not painting a full picture of who you are. Whereas if everything fits in together, it makes it that much better. And that's why I mentioned, like, if you give them all those things, the resume, the personal statement, highlights of what happened in their class, it's gonna be a whole package and make it that much better. The other thing I would mention is that within the pipeline program, another nugget of information that I got, I forget the name of the individual. He was an attorney, Latino guy, really great. And what he had told us was that he applied to UCLA, didn't get a scholarship, or if he did, it was low. And he applied to another similarly ranked school outside of California, right? It might have been in like Minnesota, Maryland, some other state. And basically what he was saying, because, he was first generation, Latino, minority, parent, etc. It made him a more well-rounded applicant for other schools where they didn't have as much, underrepresented individuals. So although a UCLA where, it's in LA, there's it's more well-rounded. There's people from different ethnic groups. Although a UCLA wouldn't offer him a scholarship, this other school that didn't have, as much well-rounded individuals did offer him a scholarship, and I believe it was a full ride. The great thing about that, because it was a similarly ranked school, he was able, to negotiate and tell UCLA like, hey, this other school's offering me a scholarship. Can y'all match or exceed this? I want to go to UCLA. Can you offer me something? They did. They matched what the other school was offering, and he got a full ride. I also, having that story, having that knowledge, I also did something similar. I didn't get, a full ride, but I did get a book stipend when I went to Cal Western, and that book stipend, it saved me about $3,000 in loans, which is great. Had I not done the pipeline program, I would not have known about this tactic, and the tactic saved me about $3,000 in books. So in total, it was like $4,000, $5,000 worth of information, if not more, that I got practically from the pipeline program. I'll put links down below to those pipeline programs if you want to check them out. Hopefully you learned something from this video. If you're thinking about going to law school, if you're currently in the process, I hope that some of this was beneficial. If it was, please let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe. God bless you. And then if you're interested in immigration, or personal injury, we have videos on those subjects. You can check out the playlists up above. Thank you, and best of luck on your journey.